Blessed love family, Raspberry I here again, the Now Church. This one is righteous divinization and divination, how to communicate with God. How often do we hear preachers say God told them this and that the Holy Spirit reveals such and such to them? I cannot count how many times I've seen people in comment sections saying what they believe God has spoken to them. Can we trust such proclamations? How many of their predictions have come true? I think you are wise if, like me, you are skeptical of extraordinary claims and apply critical thinking and scientific method as far as possible to such things. On the other hand, if there is a most high spiritual source of all, should we not then be able to speak to and hear from that source? I have found that it is, in fact, possible if we apply aspects of the scientific method by taking detailed notes of what we think God has told us and then review the results over time. The first essential thing is the ability to look within and center your mind, that is, to meditate. Watch my video on breathing and how to meditate for the basics if you need them. The next ingredients are notebooks and pens. Keep a notebook and a pen close when meditating to write down insights that may come and significant dreams, which is another avenue of divine messaging. Write down dreams as soon as possible after waking. Then analyze them. A night or a few days later. Here are some basics to divine communication. Formulate the most precise and direct question and write it in your notebook. Also include the date and the time. This is very important. Half the battle is in asking the right questions. Then get into meditative trance with incense burning, etc. Give thanks and praises to the Most High. Ask the question mentally to the Most High as many times as you feel necessary, and then just wait, open for ideas and suggestions. When they come, write them down. Next, use a large spiritual book, such as the Bible, and some other large book or books. Concentrate on the question and open the book up and place your finger randomly. Read from slightly above to slightly below that spot and write down the main content, even if it seems insignificant. Do the same with another book or books and note whatever you land on. As with the dreams, come back to them hours or a day later for analysis. Not every coincidence is a spiritual synchronicity, but if coincidences keep repeating more than twice, make a note of it. When you analyze these notes, write out your interpretation or possible interpretations with a question mark until evidence reveals that one is correct. In some cases, fasting may be needed in the preparation stages of meditation. It is also wise to have appropriate music playing while you meditate. This is a trial and error method, and only after practicing for sufficient time will you be able to know how to interpret the dream symbols and answers. Take time to study symbolism and dream language. Divination is an attempt to gain insight on a question by way of ritual and contact with a supernatural agency. The Bible has verses condemning divination, but at the same time the prophets and patriarchs of God are shown practicing divination, such as casting lots, using rituals to affect reality, and interpreting dreams. The only logical resolution to this paradox is that such things are prohibited outside of serious commitment to the Most High. Keep this in mind. As Prophet Gad of the 12 tribes of Israel taught, you should be reading a chapter a day of the Holy Book. I also highly recommend reading Psalms daily. Also keep in mind that you may have to do several readings on the same question, as well as fine-tuning the questions. You must be aware of and avoid just accepting or interpreting the answers to be what you desire. Becoming as unbiased as possible is key. Another key is to note that the Most High has planned and will implement certain future outcomes, but because He does not interfere with human free agency, most things are not mapped out, and He will give you an answer based on the best probability, all things being equal, from the time of the divination process. Now let us look at what divinization is and how it relates to righteous divination. Divinization is in many religions, but in ancient Christianity, it is the transforming effect of divine grace, the Spirit of God making one divine, to become a God, small g, an angel. Many know that the Old Testament says, "Ye are gods," and that Christ quoted it with approval. Many church fathers, such as Augustine, agreed. He said, "For He hath given them power to become the sons of God. If we have been made sons of God, we have also been made gods." Several Bible verses state that humans may become heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ, inheriting all things in Him. It is also called apotheosis or theosis. The Eastern and Oriental Orthodox churches, including the Ethiopian Orthodox, which is part of the Oriental, accept this doctrine. For Eastern Christianity, no one can be a theologian who does not follow the path of union with God. They teach that it is accomplished as a cooperation between God's grace and the individual doing ascetic practices. In summary, those monastic type practices are forms of meditation and trance. They include chanting, fasting, isolation from worldly things, regularly doing rituals of uniting with the Most High, such as the Eucharist, and constant inner prayer. These are all seen as affected by the Holy Spirit. So you see, practicing praise, prayer, meditation, and righteous divination together are the path of divinization. It is this experiential aspect that Christ taught, but has largely been lost in Western Christianity. This constant communion and communication with Jah through divination is what has been neglected too much in Rasta in recent years and in humanity as a whole. To be filled with the Spirit and have full access to conversing with one's holy guardian angel is the way that everyone can potentially become a poet, a priest, and a prophet in their own right. This practice and realization, when it reaches a critical mass on earth, is in fact the completed spiritual return of Christ to rule earth in love, harmony, and bliss. Blessed love family, in Haile Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, one love, and justice. Be safe. Rastafari.